No pair of Cartier glasses is complete without the right tint. So in this video, I'm going to not only showcasing 5 of the very best Cartier frames, but also 5 of the very best tint combinations to really perfect them. So hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant here at the Spectacle Factory, and it's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And the gloves are out today because we're going to be looking at some of the most perfect glasses ever made, ever designed, ever created. And we're going to make them even more perfect by matching them with the right tints. And I'm going to be explaining not just the aesthetic elements of these tints, but also the practical benefits of them as well. So you can see the real use cases for these different tint combinations. And not only that, we're going to be looking at flash coatings, which take a tint and elevate it that next level. Let's get into it. So we're going to start with one of the most classic and one of the most loved Cartier styles, which is the Cedar Cartier with buffalo horn. And this frame is pretty much the quintessential Cartier look. That's why we want to start with this one today. It's a beautiful piece of eyewear, and it looks great on its own, you know, with the gold elements, the C of the House of Cartier, and of course that gorgeous buffalo horn. But just a little bit of tint added to one of these frames can really make the whole look. So with a frame like this, I would perfect it with a 25% green or grey-green tint, graduated to clear at the bottom, as you can see here. So this gets lighter towards the bottom, darker towards the top. It's a very subtle level of tint, as you can see, and as I'm going to demonstrate now on our VisuFit. So I've been measured in all of these frames using the Zeiss VisuFit. What that means is, basically it's a 3D scan of my face and how the glasses fit to my face, and it allows us to simulate any kind of tint in any kind of frame. It's a really cool technology and I love using it. And we're going to utilize it to show you how that tint is going to look in this frame. Here we go. It just gives a bit of definition to the lens, just to make that shape stand out. And it's a very classic rectangular shape. On its own, I feel like it might be boring. With the hint of colour, that little pop of colour, it really works well. And green is the classic Cartier lens colour. They use it in a lot of their sunglasses. And I just think a gold frame with a green lens looks extremely premium. And to take it that one extra little step further, here we have an amber flash coating. I don't know how well you can tell this, but the amber flash coating just adds a hint of gold to the reflection on the lens. That's without it, and that's with it. When it catches the light, it's going to reflect a little hint of gold, and that's going to tie in, of course, with the gold elements on the frame. Then we've got a perfect pair of glasses. Next up, let's look at something completely different, which is the Santos de Cartier, hence the exposed screws on the arm, a beautiful design, in a round rimless shape, and platinum, of course. So a completely different colour scheme to the first frame that we tried. The Santos, I always think, works best in platinum. That's just me, although you can get these frames in gold as well. But with a platinum frame, especially in the rounder shape, because it is that little bit larger, we're going to use this to make a really versatile pair of glasses. So here we have Photofusion Blue, and this is a lens that's going to go from clear inside, as you can see now, to a blue tint outdoors when exposed to UV. And you can see with Photofusion how quickly that takes place. It's extremely fast. As soon as you step outside, these are going to start darkening, and that's going to give a really beautiful contrast between the blue of the lens and the platinum silver coloration of the frame. But let's take a look now at how that tint looks in these frames on my face. So here's the Photofusion Blue, and you'll see that this is kind of in mid-light conditions. So if you stepped outside and it was kind of like a slightly sunny day, they would go to this level of tint. When you're inside, virtually clear. And when you're in full sunlight, we've got that dark, beautiful royal blue colour, which I just think looks so gorgeous with the platinum, and the contrast with the platinum, it's just perfection for me. Now, again, we can just take it that little bit further and add on top of this blue Photofusion lens, which I'll just darken again for you because it's already started clearing back. That's the beauty of Photofusion, how fast it is. We're going to finish that off with a ruby flash coating. And I just think the blue with that hint of pink looks absolutely stunning, and I hope you agree. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate these flash coatings on the VisuFit. It's a limitation of the technology, and it really frustrates me. I've been asking Zeiss for about 2 years now to implement it. They haven't done. So this is the best I can do to show you. But that blue tint with the ruby, oh my God, that's just gonna look gorgeous, especially in the Santos frame. And the reason why I think this frame is well suited to a photochromic lens in particular is because it is big enough to give that sun protection. I wouldn't necessarily recommend a photochromic lens, although you can have one in a smaller frame like the first Cedar Cartier that we looked at. In the Santos, it's going to look great as a sunglass. And speaking of sunglasses, which Cartier model could work best as a beautiful tinted two sunglass pair? And what do I mean by that? Well, we're going to pair this beautiful Premier de Cartier frame with the gold and black accents with adaptive sun technology. And what is adaptive sun? Well, adaptive sun is a tint that starts off at 75% to 25% gradient, like so. I've picked this one in the brown to work well against the gold, but will actually activate when exposed to UV light and become even darker, up to 97%. Now, why would you want this when you can have the Photofusion that I already mentioned? Well, first of all, I personally like to wear tinted glasses most of the time. And if I was wearing the Photofusion right now, it would just be completely clear. With adaptive sun, even when you're inside, or even if you're driving, for example, and there's no UV exposure because the windscreen blocks the UV, this is still going to be tinted. So it's a lot better for driving, and it gives a really cool look that you can still wear indoors. It is light to look through. I can see everything perfectly. So let's see how the adaptive sun is going to look in these frames. And what a perfect combination. I think I got this one right. They look awesome as a pair of fairly tinted glasses, almost bordering on sunglasses. And then when the UV hits and they start to go darker, they just look better and better. That looks like a gorgeous pair of sunglasses. What I love about this style is how, as the lens darkens, it's accentuating the prominent and pointed Cartier bridge, which is one of their kind of quintessential features. It's one of their trademarks in the collection. It stands out all the time with a tinted lens, but even more so as the lens goes darker. What a perfect combination. And again, to add that icing on the cake, I'm going to add a sapphire flash coating to this pair. So that's going to add a slightly blue reflection, which, I mean, these glasses already have, I don't know if you can tell, they already have that blue reflection on them. Again, that's one of the hallmarks of Cartier glasses. They often have that. And this just means that it's going to have that hint of blue, just to add a tiny touch of colour and just to give a little bit extra kind of interest. We don't want it looking too flat where there's no colour, and obviously a brown tint is fairly kind of bland, or it can be. With the blue, you've just got that extra touch, that extra bit of beauty. Now, I mentioned that I like to wear tinted glasses most of the time, and that cannot be more true for a statement pair of glasses. If you're picking a pair of glasses that you want people to go, wow, you must have a tint. And that's why I've selected a relatively darker tint than the first two pairs for this gorgeous Premier de Cartier rimless with blue wood. Wood, along with buffalo horn, is one of the materials that you should really look out for when you're shopping for Cartier glasses, because it's a material that almost no other brands even go anywhere near. It makes them super rare, collectible, and valuable, of course. I mean, they do cost a lot more in the first instance, but they hold their value a lot better as well. And a wood frame, just like a buffalo horn frame, it's going to last you probably for the rest of your life if you look after them. Now, of course, because this frame has the blue wood, which is my favourite colour in the wood, we're going to go with a bluish tint to match, but I've gone for a grey blue. And the reason for that is because if we're going for a dark tint, and especially with the blue wooden arms, we don't need to be too blue like the Photofusion that we looked at. This is just going to be a little bit more toned down, and I think a bit more in keeping with the actual colour of the frames themselves. So this is a grey-blue 40%. So it's almost twice as dark as the original green tint that we looked at on the Cedar Cartier pair, as you can see for comparison. So this is going to make these a much more prominent and bold pair of glasses overall, which I think is in keeping with the overall style of these frames, because they are bigger, they are kind of blockier and chunkier with the 3 ridges that you see on the Premier de Cartier styling. They just stand out more than most Cartier rimless frames. Again, let's implement that tint into this frame using the VisuFit. So this is the grey-blue 40%. And if ever a tint was meant for a pair of glasses, I feel like this is it. How epic does that look? to me, it's really making these into a truly special pair of statement glasses that you can wear to an event and really catch the limelight. Or even if not catching the limelight, just look classy and elegant. Not only that, but personally, when I'm in situations like that, I like to feel a little bit shielded because I'm quite shy. Don't get me wrong, I want to look good, but I also don't want too much attention, or I want to feel like a little bit shielded and protected in those situations. Maybe that's just me. And that's why, again, to complete the finished article, we're going to add the diamond coating. And this has a silver reflection. It's the most prominent of all of the flash coatings. So this one stands out the most by far. And that's just going to, again, reflect light away from my eyes, make me feel a little bit shielded. So in those social situations, I don't really want people seeing my eyes too much, like just a little bit, but not clearly as if I was wearing glasses. And that's exactly what this look will achieve. I really love the diamond coating when it's paired with a platinum frame. I just think the silver on silver looks amazing. To finish off what I hope you've found to be a cool video, we've got something really cool here to show you today, because all of these glasses are special. Even the most basic Cartier glasses are special. Buffalo horn, wood, even more special. Solid gold, solid rose gold. This is the most special rimless frame that Cartier make, bar none. This is made from solid rose gold, and it's the only time that you'll see rose gold in Cartier eyewear is when it's solid. They never use it plated. And that makes these, again, more valuable, more opulent, more rich, and even more kind of restrictive in the tint that they're going to suit. So I really had to pull out all the stops for you today to find a tint that's going to work best with the rose gold Cartier rimless frames. And what I've selected come from a manufacturer that I actually don't talk about too much on this channel. As you guys know, I love Zeiss, and all the lenses and tints we've talked about so far have been Zeiss. But I also love Hoya, and Hoya are a Japanese lens manufacturer who are amazing at coatings. And they have a coating which has a rose gold finish. Rose gold lenses with a rose gold frame, what more could you ask for? This is their technology called Sensity Shine Brown, which has a rose gold mirror finish to it. And this is going to give us the same photochromic effect that we saw in the Santos de Cartier. However, this has more of a prominent tint indoors, as you can see, and goes much darker outdoors than Photofusion, and works in the car to around about 50%. So it's a very versatile lens, with the downside being that it is a bit slower to fade back. But I think that people buying this lens wouldn't really care if it takes a long time to fade back. The longer you've got that tint, the better. And as you can see, with the Sensity Shine technology, the more prominent the tint, the darker the lens goes, the more exaggerated that rose gold finish is. And for me, that is just a perfect lens for a perfect frame. That makes these rose gold Cartier frames wearable in almost all conditions, almost all occasions. You can wear them day to day if you want as your daily use glasses. And with Sensity Shine, you're kind of covered for most eventualities, if not all. The only thing I would say you can't use it for is driving in very, very bright sunlight, because it only does go 50%. But, I mean, that's a limitation I would accept, to have such an amazing pair of glasses for most use cases. Alternatively, if you didn't want a photochromic lens, you can also apply that rose gold finish to a solid tint. And I've picked this grey graduated 75% tint lens if you wanted these as a solid tint pair. But as beautiful as it looks, as cool as it is, I don't think it's what I would choose. I'd go with the rose gold photochromic all day long. This would be nice though. Anyway, that just about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you've really enjoyed this showcase of not only some of the most amazing Cartier frames, but some of the best tint technologies out there in the world. And I hope you've found it interesting to kind of see my thought process when I'm pairing a frame with the right tint. I hope you find that useful. But as always, reach out to me with any questions. Leave a comment below, and I always do answer all questions eventually, I promise. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys, bye bye.